though I walk, yea, 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 though I walk, in the spirit of the night I call to you, a world full of lies that denies what's true. I can't take it 'cause the light fades too fast. Smothered in the dark, how am I to last? I'm a sinner, yes I know, here I'll confess. Stained in my choices, it's a filthy mess. How many times have I been saved through all the hurt that I had blamed on those who wish me ill, always forgetting about your will. In the spirit of the day I call to you, a world full of hate that denies what's true. I still worship through it all, here I'll confess. Washed by your blood, I will never stress. I'll just say, yea, though I walk, yea, though I walk through the shadow of death, yea, though I walk, I will fear no evil. Yea, though I walk, for you are with me. Yea, though I walk, for you are with me. Yea, though I walk, power that makes dictators kneel, divinity no man can afford. That's why we revere and call you Lord. They'll throw a tantrum and change human laws, but the word of your promise will never be unbound. And the choir sings, yea, though I walk through the shadow of death, yea, though I walk through the shadow of death.
Okay, this one's for Gabby.
surrounded by the flames of daylight fantasy, chasing greatness every time they change the key. A pause sounds sweet, but it don't match the agony. Smile for the crowd while it's eating me gradually. There's a dragon in my chest, I feel it when I breathe. Every accolade I get just gives it more to feed. It was small at first, I swear it used to sleep. Now it's clawing at my ribs every time I try to speak. You ain't special, yeah, I hear when it talk. They don't love you, they just love you while you rock. When the lights fade out, tell me what you really got. Just a broken man, trying to break locks. How can my voice carry the weight of the world when I can't even stand in the skin that I'm in? I wanted a story that lifted a girl. Now I'm trapped in a chapter that never begins. Pages stay blank while the pressure builds. Every dream that I had feel lesser still. If I disappear, would they miss me then? Or just play my tracks like a repayment? I'm teetering lines between peace and the end. One wrong step and I don't gotta pretend. Spotlight bright but it don't show the scars. Just hides all the cracks that I'm falling apart. How do I carry this sorrow forward when letting it go feel easier than war? As glory becomes a curse for I to endure. I know the devil keeping score. Watch as I fly free from this self-imposed confinement. As my wings turn to ashes and my vision is blinded. And yet I hear your voice through the dark. When the sound can't pierce the veil, no hope or spark. A plea for me to return from the edge and tell you all is well. When I'm trapped in my own cell. Shit. Look. There's still a song in me that I ain't seen. If I fall here, what would that mean? For the ones who still believe. For the ones who still believe. My father's voice in the back of my mind. My brother like, yeah, you still got time. And the ones in the crowd I thought I'd lost were holding me up this whole damn time. The dragon's still there, I won't pretend, but it don't get to decide how this story ends. I'm still here, I'm still breathing, and this is where the song is beginning. How do you overcome a beast of great might and fury? Claws that asunder a render, heart shaking with worry. I tell it to you straight. Plant your feet, don't hesitate. Look that horror in the eye, smile full of pride. Quicker than the beast comprehends. Charge in and let the battle begin. Let the battle begin. Let the hero inside awaken within. For you're more than what it roars. If it wishes to break your mind, you gotta settle that score.
Okay. Had to bring your tip back on this one. God.
Genesis tried to show you the path. Die like Jesus just to resurrect.
Fantastic day. It is your Bard of the Realms, your storyteller of the morning, Keith Loves Gaming, baby. And I'm so glad to be here with each and every single one of you as we get rocking and rolling, as we get things going. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I do have some news with it, and some things that I do want to get into before we start the episode. But if you guys could do me a favor, if you guys could like the video, if you guys could share and chat about the beautiful things that we've got going on here. We've got a lot of wonderful things that are happening, but you know, with every good thing, there is a little bit of suffering that must come with it, unfortunately, because that's just how life is. You know, I actually went out on a trip to not a festival, but a friend's birthday party, and we were gone for like about a week. And you know, when we came back, we had to take care of some things with the kitty. And I'll get more into the story as we start the episode. But if this video does find you well, please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. Please be sure to show support in any way you can. It has been a very tough day. for us in general. I honestly didn't know if I was going to do today's episode, but the show must go on as usually how it is. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much. I'm sorry that I do sound a little deflated. The reason we're playing Big Walk today is because I wanted to do something new from our original programming, and I wanted to make sure that things were up to and touching in a different way where we could take some slow moments and walk together for a bit. Because life is short, y'all. Life really is. When you're out here in these streets, you got to remember that there are people who love and care about you. And no matter whether you're an owner, a pet, or just somebody who needs community, there's always a space for you here on my channel. And I'm grateful and glad that I get to be able to come to y'all and talk about some of the hard decisions me and my fiance Star had to make this yesterday, in the middle of the night, honestly. But without further ado, thank you guys so much for chomping in. I'm gonna do a quick audio test, and then we'll hop right into the episode for today. Just a moment, chat.
True for me, the facts of life is like fruit and meat. Young God, I take a piece of me and bros you let me out. This energy of flow with tree. I got the Midas touch.
Yeah, it seems like we are good to go as far as how we sound and what we're sounding like. So I feel pretty confident about that going forward. All right, so it does look bright in here, but I also am wearing these shades today for a specific reason, which I will get into. So, keep it here and keep it locked in. We're about to transition right into Big Walk, and I'm excited to actually peel back the layers and see what this game is about. So thank you guys so much. Let's dive right in to Big Walk. And audio might be a bit different going from this to my traditional headset. So we'll see you guys in a minute, and I'll do another audio test just to be sure. Alrighty, let's see how that is sounding for us. Hopefully it's pretty good. Oh yeah, audio is sounding crisp. I love that. All right. So yeah, man. It has been a tough time, chat. But let's go through Big Walk a little bit before I get into some more of the dour news. And I'm gonna slow down the music here a little bit so y'all can come into a space of calm and of peace with me. Because today, today's not necessarily a sponsored episode. Today is a day where we really get to calm down and get a little bit more connected, a little bit more intimate with each other, because I find that to be very important. Especially when you're out here in these internet streets. A lot of people put on airs about just being strong on the internet, right? And I don't think my community is that type of community. I think we're the type of community that can be vulnerable with each other, right? That can understand when things are tough. Like, I have Elise on this channel, and they go through a lot of things, and they're very raw, and a lot of people don't understand why I have them on here. And it's because not only are they an amazing person, trans, and also just incredibly fun to be around, but they're in tune with themselves in a way that a lot of people aren't, right? And that's something that I think most people need to be aware of, because life is short, dude. And so that brings me to my point, why I bring up, why being vulnerable and being raw is so important. We went on this trip, and I'll get started, but I do have to get this out just to say it. And when we got back home, Hadley, unfortunately, my kitty for roughly 3 years, since the start of this relationship, and also Star's kitty for 11 years, Hadley wasn't using her legs and was barely able to lift her head up and was meowing a lot. And so she was in distress, we could tell. And so she was in distress, and we tried to feed her some food. We tried to, put a little bit of water near her to see if she would move at all, but she wasn't moving like she normally was. And it was really tough to try to get her in the crate because she didn't really have much function. And so we put her in the crate, and we take her to the vet, and they do an examination on her, and it turns out she had a mass in her stomach, which just completely shut down her body. And it turned out it was cancer. So the doctor didn't really give us many options except for, to be frank, that either we make the decision to humanely euthanize her so that way she doesn't feel pain, or we take her back home, because the x-rays would have been astronomically expensive. It would have been ridiculously too much for us to understand, what was really happening. And the doctor looks at me and asks, "Are you okay if we put her to rest tonight? Because the other alternative is you take her home and you wake up in the morning and she's dead." And so I had to make the call. Star she did the best that she could, but she broke down, and I don't blame her at all. Because like I said, Chad, she had Hadley for about 11 years, and she was such a good kitty. That's that thing that really hurts me the most is, what do you do when you're faced with a tough situation where you can't do anything, right? You have to make a call in the moment when other people just are not necessarily inconsolable, but not able to make that decision themselves. And there's a lot more we'll talk about it as the episode goes on, but I just had to get that part out, because it was really, really tough after an amazing weekend, after a beautiful weekend where we were mermaids and mermen by a waterfall, and I was inspired for this new project that I want to work on, and all these things. Well, cancer came for us in the end, and I don't know, man. I don't know. Just talking about it with you all helps so much. And it's why I'm wearing these glasses today. You see me on this show Monday through Friday, and I'll usually wear something cat themed. I'll usually have on something that's like a collar of some type, and people can make all their funny comments and talk about my appearance and all that, but it's because I really care for these animals. I really appreciate the joy and the love that they bring. And I thought about it. I could not play Final Fantasy VII today while dealing with this grief that's just been kind of hanging over us. So today's episode is titled Goodnight, Hadley. And on top of, talking about what Hadley brought into our lives. We'll also be discussing, the joys of the weekend and, the new project that I want to work on. But I just, for at least a while, I want to take some quiet moments to really grieve about this loss of a family member. Because that's what Hadley was. Like, a lot of people talk about a pet coming into your life and, having almost a complete change because that pet was there. And I think Hadley was one of those special kitties that just, no matter who was over, everybody was welcome as a part of her litter, as a part of her pack, and it was beautiful to be able to just have Hadley with us for as long as we were able to, and incredibly heart-wrenching to see her in so much pain. And just to get this out there, fuck cancer, dude. Fuck cancer. In pets and in humans, fuck cancer. So, yeah, it might be a bit more of an emotional episode. But we're gonna keep on going. We're gonna keep getting through. And I just thank you guys so much for joining me today. As we just take a much needed big walk. So and if I need to take a break, I'll take a break. And we'll just try to get through this as best we can. But if you're new to Big Walk and you're new to the channel, I apologize. I'm normally not like this, but it's a heavy time, and I feel like this is a solid way to grieve in certain places, is just to be able to communicate and converse with what I'm going through. So if you've got to go away from this episode because it's too much and you're going through your own pet loss, or you've lost a family member, I totally understand. I get it. Please take some time for yourself. Make sure you really check internally. And, whether you're a lurker or whether you're somebody who's watching live, just take a moment to do a moment of silence with me for the best kitty I know and the other kitties who are still with us. Good night, Hadley. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it. Okay, so welcome to Big Walk. Big Walk is a game about talking to your friends. Please take a moment to check that your microphone is working. Headphones are recommended. Once you begin, Big Walk should be the only way that you communicate. So please, no voice calls, no talking face to face, and no looking at other players' screens. Thanks. House. Let's host a game. The join code is 458914. If you want to hang out with me today and just walk around a little bit, I'd appreciate it, man. Thanks. I don't know if we should make it password protected. I think just leaving it open and seeing who comes in is the beauty of this game. So we're gonna rock out with that today, chat, and you know, try to have a little bit of joy in just walking around. Oh, password is required. Wow. Okay. You know what? For the join code, let's do 458914. 4+ players, 3+ players. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, make it as open as possible. Why not? I can't believe a password is required, though. That's so interesting. Okay. I like how they start you off, like, in a corner. Just, hey, you know, you're not going to look out into the great wide wander. You're going to start in this corner, or if you want to, you can just kind of crawl inside and, like, just kind of take a moment to relax. You know, just stare at a wall, really give yourself a moment to push your head right up against it, even with these bouncy knees. Let's move around and see what we can find. I like that it's quiet here. Yeah. It's really nice. Feel that ambient sound. Just kind of be at peace, you know? Oh, there's multiple rooms. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, 4 players. And click the stick in to run, which is good news. And there's a football here. Oh, okay. Yeah. So waving, arms up, pick up. Okay. At least we're able to walk on this grass. We sure are. Wow. A little bit of baby steps in here. Just a little bit. Try sitting down while you're standing on a slope. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, man. That's really cute. And crouch under here. You only need to tap left stick to begin sprinting. You'll keep sprinting until you stop moving. Huh. All right, right stick to sit. Circle to crouch. Oh, okay. X to jump. And left stick to sprint, huh? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, they're like, hey, work on your game sense a little bit. Okay. Oh, wow, you can mute yourself too. Crazy. Oh, okay. You pick things up with left. Left bumper. Interesting. It's so wild, right? Like, wow. Okay. Lost and found. When the host ends your game, anything you're holding or wearing will be placed here at the start of your next session. Oh, that's lovely. What? This is a light? Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that's cool. Nice. Just a giant black ball. Wow, okay. Huh. All right, let's see. What am I looking at here? I can pull that red lever. Left bumper to use. Okay. And then I can hold it up. Oh, what? There's a meter for holding things up? Oh, wow. And you, okay, so you can hold it and lock it in for a certain amount of time. That's rad. I love this. The most satisfying thing in the game so far is pressing this button. But I have to have the receptacle at it, and I can't stare at it. Interesting. All right. Yeah. Left bumper to pick up and to use. How do I place something on the ground without kicking it? Just right bumper? There it is. Yeah, get back on there. There we go. Nice. Judging the trajectory and timing is definitely going to be a thing, right? It sure is. Oh my god, okay. Oh, what? Oh, well, there it goes. Alright, well, we tried. I think I'm gonna get one of these. Yeah. And just start throwing them at people. Pressing L2 or R2 when holding an item to raise it over your head. Holding an item for a few seconds will lock it in place. Tap the button again to release it. Pressing L1 while holding R1 to cancel a kick. Raise an item and hold R1 to perform an overhead throw. Oh, okay. You can also do text chat. Oh, that's sick. Hell yeah. And triangle to mute. Yo, again, paying attention to these things is very important, chat. Seems to be a light over here. Can we? Oh, I'm holding this. And it's blocking me. It was blocking me because I was too damn tall. Ah, that's cute. Yeah. Yo, we're bouncing out here, son. We're bouncing out here so much. This video does seem a bit choppy also, chat, so let me close some things out, or at least hide the screen share just to see if we can get a little bit smoother, I would say. Yeah. All right, just to test that out. See how it goes. Yeah, I'm kind of bouncing a little better. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. That seems a lot better. I could be wrong, though. But yeah, that seems a lot better. Let me know, chat, if things are a little bit weird. And we'll keep adjusting as we go along. So left 2 is what's up. L1 is... Right, these together. Bring it in, bud. Bring it in, bud. I know you need a hug. You just lost a pet. It's okay, bro. I get it. Let it out. It's all right. Thanks, fam. All right. It's bouncy. I love the fact that they gave these balls bounce. It's kind of sick. Okay. Press start to review your controls. Good luck on your big walk. Thanks, mate. I really appreciate it. Yeah, keep a light so that way you can find your way through the darkness of these infinite corridors. How lovely, dude. I've got a lantern over my head so I can see. Yeah, they even give you another one just to be sure. Like, hey, mate. If you need a hand, we've got you. Alright. So I slid down here. Let's see what's going on around yonder. It's so nice to be able to walk through grass and just hear the crunch underneath your toes. Just to be able to take a moment by the rivers and the lakes and the trees. Just enjoy ourselves, dude, because, yeah, man. Oh. You know, I gotta tell you, before we came home and saw Hadley, there was a lovely moment where we were by this waterfall and creek, and we were celebrating our friend Ray's, I believe it was her 33rd birthday, and, you know, she's really into mermaids, and they're really into, you know, spending time with the community, and, you know, it was such a lovely trip. It really was. The flowers were blooming, birds were singing. You know, the water was not necessarily super full, but it was, you know, a space where we could really come and chill and just relax. And, you know, she brought a mermaid instructor out who allowed us to wear like specific tails and monofins. And I've got some footage and video I'll show you guys. But yeah, man, it was lovely. Like, oh man. Yeah, put this light over here. Let's see what you do, friend. Alright. Oh, God. What? What? Oh, that's so cute. Just a fireworks button. Just a cute fireworks button. That makes a nice little star in the sky, like a flashbang. Oh, that's cute as shit. Alright, well, it's daytime. Yeah, let's see what's going on around here. Who knew daytime would be so lovely? Right? You ever just been in nature and taken a moment to, like, look around and just see all the things that you can do? I do wish this had, like, a zoom-in feature, right? So I could see what's ahead and what's out there. But I'm okay with that. Just slow and beautiful. Slow sometimes wins the race, Chad. Sometimes. Alright. Can't interact with that. Oh, what? Oh, hey. It's me. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Right. I do wish I could change a few things. Hmm. You know what? Yeah. Up. Let's see. I can paint. Hmm. Wonder what this paint does, though, right? I guess I can't change anything about my appearance with this. But I can paint over here. Question is, where can I paint at? Like, yeah, we could change colors. Right. I'll stick with purple. Hmm. Get the purple paintbrush and see if I can find maybe a canvas somewhere. That's a standing mirror. So I wonder what we're able to do with this paintbrush. What things can we freely paint? Ooh, hello there. That might be a place we can freely paint. Because maybe I can draw Hadley. Maybe that can be a thing. You know, if this turns out to be a skate park, I will be overjoyed. And will probably stay here for the rest of the time and just skate out my problems. What? What is this? Huh. Hmm. Oh, I can't do two button presses at the same time? Interesting. Huh. Something must go in there. Okay. Wow, look at the sea, dude. Man, I miss the beach. Going to the beach is so nice and so lovely. Just walking into the river, feeling the sand in between your toes as the waves just cascade over them, feeling that cool breeze or that cool rush of water as it goes up to your ankles. And yeah, man, you can just like chill out here and I don't know, maybe catch a vibe or two. Oh, let's see. Yeah, right about here. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I like that. Oh man. All right. So, oh my goodness. You know, it feels good to be able to take a day, a personal day, where you can just reflect on the life you've lived, right? Not every day is going to be easy. You know, you might actually feel kind of sleepy. Sometimes just closing your eyes and listening to the sound of the waves can really bring about a sense of you're still here, you're one in that piece. And all you want to do is just kind of take a moment to reset your nervous system. You know, many people go through loss in a variety of different ways. You know, I usually spend my vibes or the ways that I'm just kind of doing hanging out, with things. Lovey Dorna says that the video is staggering a bit. Okay, yeah. We'll try our best to mitigate some things in the background. Hang on, let me try to fix things up. Yeah. I'll close some of these windows in the background. Close out Spotify. Because, I do want to share my music with you all continuously, but I think today is just about really relaxing and really trying to find that center, right? Because, I don't want you guys to feel like you can't enjoy the peace and the whimsy that comes with being on my channel, for real. Yeah, because yesterday was really tough, chat. It was a real struggle to be able to be in that moment. I was in the military, and I had to make some tough calls there. But I've never had to decide someone's fate in that way. You know what I mean? And like that's what life is, right? Just processing, I think, a little bit of what do you do when somebody asks you, "Hey, do you want to keep this person, this pet alive?" Right? Do you want them to stay with you and be in pain the entire time, or do you want them to go peacefully? And I don't know what the right answer was in that situation. I really don't. Like I think I'm thinking about this the entire time, right? Like if I had more money, if I was more successful, like what could I have done to maybe make it easier on Hadley, right? Would I have been able to pay for the x-ray? Would I have been able to pay for the major surgery, right? Like if Hadley is a family member, and I love them so much, why didn't I go the extra mile as opposed to making what I personally feel might have been the easier call, financially speaking, And I don't want to beat myself up, but it's hard not to have those thoughts come up, right? Yeah. A family dog was old, and we had to let him go on his own terms. Yeah. It's tough. My father also had dogs when he was growing up, and he had one put down, and one was hit by a truck, like in the middle of like his parents' divorce. So, when we were growing up, we didn't have pets, right? I think my father made that decision based on trauma, right? And that's a lot of things that I don't really like recognize, but I do now as an adult, right? Where like parents are doing the best with what they got. And if your parent grew up in a household, that was full of trauma, they might make decisions that can really like have you miss out on things because of that trauma. Because I didn't have a pet growing up, right? And that's why I think this hit me so hard, was because, I've never had to make this decision. I've never had to make this call. I've never had to sit there and have, the fate of somebody in my hands to this degree. And, they call it humane, but I don't know if it's necessarily that. I think, to me personally, it just feels like hopeless. And, what do we do with that hopelessness? My father says there's always a way to learn from any situation. And I want to believe that. I do. He prayed for me this morning, and I tried to, understand it and take it in, and to feel that usual warmth I feel from a prayer. But when things feel really hopeless, there comes a point where prayers just don't hit the same. and you know, it's tough to have to make a decision like this. And I know as long as I am on this planet, I'm gonna be put in positions of leadership where I have to make the tough call. I have to make that's what being a leader is, chat. Like a lot of people don't recognize the of course they recognize the follies of leadership. You know, everybody loves to point out the terrible things that a leader will do. But when things are really tough and you're having to make a decision for the family, it's all on you, and you can only do what you think will be best for the people around. Like they asked us at one point, did we want to stay with Hadley as they injected her with the poison that would eventually like stop her heart and her brain? And I was like, no, I couldn't do that to Star. It was already bad enough that we got blindsided by this after coming off of a week-long trip of, you know, love, unity, companionship, and to just come into something that is so traumatic. It really changes the perspective, you know. And Star's probably going to think to herself, oh, what could have done as a better cat mother? I should have noticed. I should have gotten to Hadley sooner. But there's also, you know, going back to the finances of, you know, if we could afford it, do we? You know, and Levy Dorner writes, you know, again, human involvement is an assumption. I had to look at it differently. Again, it was more for their own terms over ours. All we can do is pray for their well-being, and leadership takes all responsibility. It does. It really does, Levy. And yo, shouts out to Levy for being here and for understanding what we're going through, right? Because there comes a point when you've got to look at the situation fully and try to be resilient, but also still feel those feelings, right? Because you can't be cold during these types of situations where everybody's crying, where, you know, we're given the bad news, and the doctor comes in and is like, so here are your options. And oh, man. And we're going to talk about it a little more, because I have some... I definitely want to try to, like, not make the whole episode about it, but it kind of is, because this is how we say goodbye, right? To our friend, to our family member, to Hadley. And, you know, I appreciate you guys bearing with me. And I feel like I'm rambling half the time here when I'm on camera in front of you. But, you know, just doing this really does help. And it does feel better. So, you know, I think I'm going to do this, like, on a time basis. I'm going to give myself... Because now I know how the skybox works. We're gonna take like the day to do a journey, and then we're gonna wait till the night comes around, find ourselves a spot, and then have some more conversations. But thank you for, you know, pulling up when you guys could. I really appreciate it. Yeah, man. It's such a pretty area. I really don't want to leave, to be frank, but the show must go on, so let's keep pushing. Video is still pretty choppy, though. Let me see. I think I might have to do a reset, chat, but let's make it to another area first, and then we'll try to do a small reset here. Because this game is gorgeous, right? Like, I think that's why we're having a lot of, like, difficulty. It's for, you know, as goofy as the characters look, the environment of this place is just simply breathtaking. And it really makes you appreciate, you know, each step. Oh, man. Okay. There's the key. But I need 4 players to be able to get this key to the next spot. Huh. Maybe that's why they were like, well, if you have 4 friends, you should totally do this. What if I don't have 4 friends? Well, that's good news, which means we can, start over a new world or join somebody's world and just kind of, be chill about it. Let me see. Right. Baldur's Gate 3 is happening. Oh yeah, I heard you guys were actually getting the dwarf run going. So I'm glad to hear that everything shook out and you're going to be launched with, all sorts of damage. Because that does put a smile on my face, actually. Thank you for letting me know, Levy Dorna. If nothing else, you being launched all oiled up at enemies is going to be hilarious to watch. A multiplayer run, eh? Yeah. Listen, have a good time. You're gonna freaking crush it, I promise. Cause yeah, I too would love to do more Baldur's Gate 3. I think that might be something that we return to. Cause it also runs a lot smoother than Crimson Desert, and I think we need to have just one Dungeons and Dragons game or one game that we like can play without everything shitting the bed, but also looks freaking gorgeous, no matter what we're playing, right? Or playing on. I definitely know my audience knows me well enough that they're like, hey, we'll come even if things look like a potato, but it's also like, try to work on the video itself, please. Yeah, I at least want to give myself like a full hour of this. That way it could be a nice small little excerpt that people can sample if they want to, and even if they don't want to, they can they'd at least check me out for a few moments. Give me that view, give me that like. Hitting the bell for notifications also helps a lot. Okay, so this is where we came from, right? All right. So yeah, I think there is no progression unless you work with somebody else, right? That's like the only thing we can really do is we can come out here, we can go down that way. Did I just hear another voice? Somebody else populating in the world already? No way, man. Oh, God. Ow. Alright, well, fall damage exists. There we go. Yeah, fall damage and, like, you can't scale as normal, so you're probably going to need help to do a lot of the things you would want to do. Yeah, like that. And you can get caught in crevices and corners, so I gotta keep that in mind when I'm out here hopping and bopping. Because you can't just jump run everywhere, right? I mean, you could. I'm definitely getting the feel for jump running, right? Where we're just bouncing every half second to get further distances. And twigs and leaves and shit will trip you up, though. But if we get into a run, bound a little bit. Huh. Then there's this over here. What is this? Okay. So there's several things here. Place stuff on. Reopen that back. Oh, shit. A squiggle, a star, a triangle, thing, and a stick. Huh. Okay. I'll screenshot that. Just so I know what that looks like, right? Open her back up. And then... yeah, it seems like I'll be able to place this as a key. There's no power over here. So what are... oh. Okay. No, I don't need that. No, I don't need that. There we go. Okay. Alright, so it was a squiggle, a star, a triangle, a plumbus, squiggle. Plumbus, I think, was the third one. A star, a triangle, a plumbus, and a stick. Stick. And a star. Right, I feel like this was it. Yeah, squiggle, star, triangle, plumbus, stick. Squiggle, star, triangle, plumbus, stick. But it didn't activate the treasure here. What? There we go. Yeah, give these boys some light, yo. Nice. Okay. So, what's going on here? Like, it seems like normally this would work, but we're not working today. Hang on, let me check something here. Because maybe it changed somehow, and maybe I'm missing something. What? Does it change every time? It does. It changes every time the door is closed. Oh, that's absurd. Oh, dude, that's so absurd. Yeah, somebody would have to tell you exactly what that matchup is, right? Exactly what the matchup is. Yeah, I had a feeling, right? Because the door has to be closed, things have to be on. Okay. Got it. All right. Yeah. So this does require a lot more teamwork than I would have expected. All right. Yeah. Levidor writes, if you're interested on a Saturday jam, let me know. It is a multiplayer run. Gnome throwing. Yeah. Having the time of my life is the best medicine. Otherwise, the negs ops just noise. Absolutely. Yeah. We got to make sure that we're doing what we can, right? And I appreciate you, Levy. Thank you so much for your support. Well, yeah, if we can't progress super far, what we can do, I guess, is when we come back, maybe join a game. Because it is nighttime, so why not just take it easy and climb on a big rock if you can. Yeah, man. Because, yeah, look at all these stars, bro. Look at all these beautiful stars. And I hope that uh, Hadley did find some peace and some rest under those stars. Because, yeah, I would like to tell the story of when we came home, but I think I'll save that for the next part. Um, but I'll finish up, telling the story of Hadley's passing, which is, so we made the decision to euthanize her. Um, and of course I told the doctor, yeah, we won't be looking at Hadley, when they administer the poison to eventually, help her pass on. Um, and so I think that doing that was a really good call. Um, just to save Stars some trauma from this. Um, my dad made a point to say, you can't, when a pet passes, stop yourself from loving, stop yourself from experiencing life, because doing that just numbs you and doesn't allow you to live life fully because you're afraid of the hurt and the pain that comes from loss. And, people want their lives to be like a story, right? And I talk about in The Dragon We Carry, how pages stay blank, but the pressure builds. Every dream that I had feel lesser still. You know, i- if there's a goal that you have and you feel like you're not reaching or meeting those goals because you're terrified or you're scared or you feel like people aren't recognizing you, that shouldn't stop you from creating, right? It shouldn't stop you from living in your truth and being who you are. The fear is there to keep you alive and to let you know that this is uncomfortable and maybe you want to change things up, but it shouldn't be a barrier to stop you from living in your truth and to express and feel that love that you get from those around you. And when you lose a family member, when you lose somebody, you can't let that loss stop you from continuing to spread love and joy to others, right? You have to try to make sure that when you love again, if you can get through the grief, if you can make your way through the tough times, whether it be alone or with your community, that you show up for the people who love you. You show up for the pets who are still there and still love you. Like, today I'd opened the door for Nora and Sammy. God, I was about to say Hadley again. I opened the door for Nora and Sammy, and just to make sure that they had some time to really feel the sun on their faces and lay down. And it doesn't seem like Sam has been too much affected by the loss, but I can tell Nora has just a bit. Like, she's been clawing at the door kind of frantically, if we close it, and like also meowing, just to let us know that she wants to be let out. So I'm gonna try to start doing that a little more, just to make sure they're not so cooped up. Um, because yeah, you've got to appreciate what you have, and Levy Dorn is exactly right. You got to make sure that you show the people in your life love and support and joy and compassion and empathy,
even if there's a risk, you know, because even if there's a risk, you have to live your life to the fullest. Because, you know, and imagine, and I was thinking about this also, you know, we came off of a trip and got a cancer diagnosis from one of our cats, but imagine if this had been one of our human family members, right? One was somebody who actually, you know, could talk to us and communicate, and all of a sudden they can't use their legs, they can't eat, they can't. They're on their way out. You know, we tried all these fancy ways, but they're dying. You know, that we try to make it pretty. We try to say they're transitioning. You know, somebody was talking about Morgan Freeman earlier. You know, the fact that he's 90 years old and he's transitioning, and it's like you've got to remember that death is a part of the experience of life. To live is to die, but that is not all there is to the life around you. You have so many layers and so many things before you get to your death that should make you want to treat every day like it's your last. I know I do. I experience all of the emotions as much as possible as I can. You know, I'm a little fucked up because of the training. You know, the training. Yeah, anytime I talk about, or anytime a military person talks about, yeah, I've been trained to just like not feel things. I've been trained to kind of just go numb or just kind of just sit with suffering and just like exist, but still do the work and still do the job. That person it will need a lot of help to feel things again. All right. I don't want to use the term broken because I don't consider myself broken. I consider that, you know, I've been through an experience that's changed me, but that doesn't mean I can't grieve, and it doesn't mean I can't feel empathy like everyone else. It's possible and I can do it, and you know, you can come back from it, right? Like that's one of the big things that the military, I think, like tries to beat out of you is you being so destroyed by grief and suffering that you can't push past it, right? And you know, for better or for worse, that might be the one thing that I think has prepared me for this situation is in the moment, are you able to rise to the occasion? Are you able to take care of the payments, the hospital bills? Are you able to talk to the doctors, to get more information, to be, you know, impartial in the situation without letting your emotions dictate how you respond to the person giving you bad news, right? And you know, I'm not perfect at it, Chad. I'm not at all. You know, there are times where I will spaz the fuck out, and everybody knows it's coming, and you know, I just gotta walk away. I just gotta give myself a moment, because if not, like, somebody's going to jail, and it's probably gonna be me. So that's one of those things that I really have to recognize, you know, in this situation, in this moment of grieving, is what are my strengths when it comes to this, and where do I fall short at, right? Like, you know, when we come back from break, because we're about to take a small break here. When we come back from break, I'll talk about Hadley's funeral and what that meant to us, how that transpired. Because it was tough digging a grave for a family member. It's probably one of the things that'll stick with me for the rest of my life. Um, and you know, it's probably also made me a bit of a stickler for how graves are made. Um, but before we do go on break, I just want to say thank you to those of you who have stuck around for, you know, these 74 minutes to be able to, you know, grieve with me, to be able to talk about a wonderful soul who's no longer with us. Um, and if you're okay, I'd like to talk just a little bit more about it when we come back. Um, and just enjoy this big walk with you all. You know, whether we're able to really get these puzzles done or whether we're able to just, you know, progress in the game doesn't matter today. What more matters is just you and me having this intimate moment, really being raw with each other and discussing our times of weakness. Because everywhere else, you get to be strong. It's okay to be weak here. I want you to feel that weakness, because when you feel that weakness, strength can come from that. People don't recognize it, but those moments of weakness is where true strength comes from. But you have to experience it and feel it to be able to have that resiliency. You can't get this way without going through the fire first. And I'm just glad to be able to be here to be processing with you all. So, thank you guys so much. And yeah, absolutely, Levy Dorna. He usually doesn't say this, but keep your head held high. Nothing hurts when you need that time. And they usually don't say this, but cry when you need to. Absolutely. And the next part of the episode, it might be a few more tears, so don't go anywhere, chat. KeithLovesGaming will return after about 10, maybe 15 minutes, and we'll start the next chapter and discuss Hadley's funeral. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you in a bit.
Welcome to the rest of your life. They picking majors, I already earned mine. The college of the bar just crowned a new voice. So I rise from the fire and I speak by choice.